Hey, Motorman here, and I got a great tip for you this week. You got to know this. Motorcycle turns by leaning. If you're afraid to lean your motorcycle, I guarantee you're going to be seriously killed when you come around a curve and you try to keep that bike straight up. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to show you a quick tip, easy way to learn this. It's just going to take you 15, 20 minutes, and you'll be able to get over that fear of leaning the motorcycle. If you can't lean your motorcycle, pull over because you're about to die. To get over that fear of leaning your motorcycle, this is the easiest way I know how to do that. First thing you want to do is put yourself a marker or even an X on the ground and start turning circles. Big circles, whatever you feel comfortable with. Leaning the bike just a bit, about as far as it leans when it's sitting on the kickstand, maybe a little bit further. Start with left-hand circles and then go to right-hand circles. Since most people have a problem going to the right more than they have a problem going to the left, practice your right circles more than you do your left. It only takes a few minutes to get over that fear. Stay in the friction zone. That's the area of clutch travel between completely open when you release the clutch and completely closed. We want to stay in that gray area in between. Speed should be around 10 miles per hour, even 12 miles per hour to start with. The faster you go, of course, the bigger the circle is going to be. Once you start losing that fear of leaning the motorcycle, then start with figure eights. That'll get you transitioning the bike from left to right very quickly. I know you don't have to make figure eights out on the road, but for practicing and for learning to lean the bike, it is a great exercise. And don't forget, the most important thing, in addition to being in the friction zone, is to use your head and eyes. I'm focusing on that cone right in the middle. Every time I pass it, I try to find it again. Each time I transition, I quickly turn my head and eyes and I look for that cone or whatever it is that you've got on the ground there that you want to look at, whether it be a marker, even a person standing there. Snap that head and eyes, look as far over your shoulder as possible, and try to find that cone. Each time you pass it, you got to find it again. You don't want to do double takes or triple takes with your head, because each time you straighten your head, the bike will straighten and the circle will get bigger and bigger. Remember, we're trying to get over the fear of leaning the bike, and this is the best way to do it. Friction zone, head and eyes. You could put a little bit of light, steady pressure on the rear brake. That could help you. If you have a problem with that, just use your head and eyes in the friction zone. Speed again, 10 to 12 miles an hour. Here I have the camera focused on my head and eyes so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Every time I pass that cone, I try to find it again. Once again, speed anywhere from 8 to about 12 miles per hour. If you drop below 5 miles per hour, there'll be more force of gravity pulling you to the ground than the force pulling you forward. If as you're practicing this, you find your progress is herky-jerky, the bike feels like it's got a mind of its own, that's because you went out of the friction zone. If you leave that gray area, the slightest movement of the throttle will cause the bike to straighten up. Don't do it. Stay in the friction zone. Every once in a while, blip that throttle. If you blip the throttle and the bike maintains the same speed, it doesn't pick up speed, you know you're in that sweet spot of the friction zone. That's very important. And the faster and further you turn your head and eyes, the better. Make sure to keep power to the rear wheel. If you release power by pulling in the clutch, the bike is going to tip over. And that's why it's important to stay above 5 miles an hour. As you get more comfortable leaning the motorcycle, try leaning a little bit further, both in your circles and in your figure eight, and try transitioning a little bit quicker. This doesn't take forever, just an hour's practice at most. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. Like they say, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. Here I'm making figure eights within 2 parking spaces wide by 2 parking spaces long. That's 18 by 36. Once you can do that, you've got this handled. You will never, ever run off a road because you're afraid to lean your motorcycle. You could even do it in the rain one-handed with enough practice. Don't forget to get yourself a copy of my Ride Like a Pro Experience video. It is the #1 selling motorcycle instructional video in the world for a reason. It's the best you can buy. It will teach you everything you need to know about riding a motorcycle skillfully, and still just $20 to your door in DVD or download. And you get a free practice guide.